Well, y'all have noticed the Ryan Garcia thing and how he ended up with a tainted supplement, made him look like he was doing drugs. Everything that went on. I don't have to explain it. You all know. How many other people that have spoke about that group has that happened to? See what I mean about a helicopter a little bit higher? Kind of like the Google map. You gotta zoom way out to see a little bit more. And if you zoom a little bit more out, you get to see even more. Something kind of like that. With situations like these, we've had so many of them. Look what happened to Epstein. He was supposedly murdered or suicide, and then nothing happens. We have FBI and CIA recruiting people to murder people. Been going on for decades. It's even been declassified. Candace Owens talks about it. I was talking about stuff. All of a sudden, my family starts going nuts. MK Ultra has parts of it have been declassified. You can go look it up. It's public record. Anybody paying attention? Yeah, I don't think Tiffany David and her mother would normally do something like this, although her mother did show things towards my children at a young age. But she never got a chance to do anything because Tiff was the one that decided to take her away. But I'm not getting into all that. I'm not lying about any of that. You can put me on a poly. And I do suffer from social anxiety and all that, so I'm more prone to failing those things just because of that, but I'll get on one anyway. I'm not saying that because I'm afraid to fail. I'm just saying they work off of nerves, and I get nervous when I'm grilled about anything, even stuff that I know. That's why I failed tests in school. Passed everything all week. When it came to the test, I couldn't think of none of the answers, and yeah, because I knew it was, somebody's going to overlook it, and I don't know why I would make a mistake every time. I wouldn't get them all wrong, just ones. And once I got it back, I'm like, dude, really? That's the answer I put? Yeah. But anyway. Now, she did do a lot of wrongs and all that. And I know it was a con artist scheme from the beginning. I know that. But, and I have always talked about 9/11. Always. Never knew my cell phone was recording me at the time. Should have known. I never put that all together until around 2008. So I don't blame y'all, because I was in a state of denial too, and there were things that I didn't pay attention to either. But even, I do have ADHD, so that could have been part of it, getting distracted by things in life. Even normal people get, distracted by the way life sways or flows and lose track of something they were checking into. But once it comes up later, they remember what track they were on and what they were doing, and then sometimes they go and, do the research and whatnot and see what's going on with it. There's something going on with this situation, just like the other situations. Mothers killing their kids and going on vacation. People hurting children in general. And yeah, I was kind of strict here and there when I had to be, but nowhere near what people are trying to put me out to be. I was just a country redneck, goofy father. When they did wrong, they got in trouble for it. I really think pretty sure my kids only got smacked maybe 3-4 times in their whole life, and that was mainly my son David. And that was on his butt one time, and then sent to his room. The Lego set thing, he was bullying and beating up his brother Talon, which Talon was like 2 years old at the time. 2 or 3, around there. And I put David on groundation for a day, not even a full day, It's for a few hours. He had to stay in his room, but nothing was taken from him yet. But he got mad at that and threw a Lego set down a vent. So, yeah, that's the Army Lego set that he went to school and lied about, which I still think his mother put him up to doing that. I don't know. He could have done it on his own, thinking that these people could have been talking to him, making him believe that, if he gave them a story, that he'd get his toy. Which, I hate to say it, but that sounds like his mom. But anyway. I'm pretty sure I have the papers with all that stated in it, because I have a lot of paperwork I still am going through. Yep, just double checking and rechecking. Regardless if people were mad at me or not, those children did not deserve what happened to them. Those people should have came at me. And I know why certain people do that. People are very heartless and cold right now. I promise you, I'm not one of them. I'm heartless and cold towards evil people that should not be doing what they're doing. And I'm not the only one that's that way. Y'all can hate me or love me. I really don't care. Everything I worked for was not handed to me. I worked my ass off for it. And even in a poor state of climbing, because I didn't get myself established, I knew I was putting the cart before the horse, but of course, I was confident that I had it. That's what made these women jealous, because I was doing it, even with a tag-along. I was doing it well. I just never seen the person that supposedly told me they loved me was going to be secretly jealous of me and stealing stuff, even though they were a part of that team. They just didn't realize it, even though I told them all the time. And I'm not no simp. I'm a Sigma. If I want to do my dishes in my house, I do. If I want to clean my house, I do. If I want to work my ass off, I do. Because I want a family, and kids doesn't change that. That's just what I wanted for my life. I didn't want to be a partier. I didn't want to be doing the hoe phase things that I seen everybody else doing. I just wanted a wife and kids. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Most of the things that have been said to me is because of my appearance. Apparently, everybody thinks that small guys are nothing, and that they do bad things just because they're small guys. And that they're mad at the world. Boy, I wonder where this so-called small guy complex comes from. The brains of people that are the ones saying and doing and living by the fact that they're better just because they're bigger. That'd be the same as saying you're better because you got a different skin color, wouldn't it? Seems pretty similar to me. I've seen a lot of small people be in the military, especially our Marines. There's a lot of small dudes there. Pretty powerful people. But okay. That's where that small guy or small person syndrome comes from. And I don't think it's a syndrome. It's just a defense. We are who we are. We can't help it. Just like if you're Asian, you are who you are. You can't help it. If you're Mexican, if you're anything, you are who you are. The only things you can help is your behaviors. I'm not out here to be anybody popular. I got on this thing and let everybody see my face because my kids were murdered. And whether it was mind control, this, that, or whatever, which that's just a theory of mine, doesn't matter. They still did it. Just like the school shooters, just like all that, doesn't matter. They still did it. Right. Do I feel bad that these people chose to do this instead of other ways that would have worked out better? Yeah. Am I mad at the fact that I thought people were going to help me protect my children in this situation and they didn't? It's the only reason why I didn't do anything physical myself. And if I would have, my kids would have been in foster care and I would have been in jail. So it's like catch-22 no matter which way I go. Even though I would have been in the right for making sure my kids were safe. Put yourself in my shoes. What do you do when the cops won't listen to you? They won't do anything even though they said that things were suspicious, even though they witnessed neglect in the highest form. And I kind of figure why CPS was catching on to stuff when they started getting involved, but they had the wrong person. I didn't even realize how bad things were until I turned around and started looking at everything. Yes, after we broke up, I wasn't under her control no more. But of course, that's not possible. You're right, she was under my control, even though she did whatever she wanted. Boy, that's some hell of control there. Asking a person to stop what they're doing so we can actually have a family and get along with our lives. Because there was moments where she wasn't doing stuff and everybody thought it was a fairy tale. But, okay. So a great life stops because you are doing things to mess with it, but that's everybody else's fault. No. It's their fault. That's what I mean. Borderline personality disorder will do that. But yeah, I'm going to cover all this because it's just all real funny. Demons? Yeah, that's exactly what's at play. That's what's making these people do and think these ways. We all know that. What's funny is our government is full of them. And it's not just our government. It's the most richest people in the world. They have all this money, all these brains, and this is what they choose to do with it? That shit's insane. Satan? Really? They have Satan worshippers active, and they used freedom of religion to do it. We have Washington, D.C. If you look at it, go to Google Maps and look at the layout. Satanic symbols everywhere. You have an erection to God, which, I mean, go look that up. That'll shock you. And there's 2 connecting circles at the bottom. Anyway, then you have a dome, which is the Dome of Isis, with a mall in between. Do you all know what that means? You ain't gonna believe me anyway. Go look it up. See ya.